Yeah, so then come back here. There's one problem. Look. I mean, look at mom. She put it in
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من همسه ونفخه ونفثه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. الحضرات الكرام السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. كيف أحوالكم وكيف صحتكم وكيف استعداد للامتحانات؟ سخره الله لنا ويوفقنا الله جميعا لما يرضيه ويرضاه إن شاء الله. We welcome ourselves to this general revision session of our class, Al-Madkhal ila al-Falsafa, the introduction to philosophy. And before we go, I would like to apologize because it took me some time before I could be able to set up the device and to make it live. So it's not, I know you guys are very perfect in this, but well, alhamdulillah, we are on at last. So what we are going to do here generally, so because this is not considered a regular class and we are not going to have class, I'm not going to give you class here. Number one, I know today is Friday and you want to take some rest and you want to revise many other subjects before the wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Muhammad Farid Ayman. Welcome to the group and welcome to the chatting. Well, so I'm just going to sit down here, listen to you, and if there is any question that you want to ask regarding our class, the previous classes and sections that we have taken. So I said I'm just going to sit down, listen to you, and then we just talk together and discuss. I do not have my book with me here. And my notes section also, I also take note. My note is also not with me. So we're just going to chit chat, and if you have any question regarding our exams, you may ask. So in terms of whatever question you have regarding the exam, you may ask. Okay. So yeah, with that, I'll be waiting for your questions that you may have. So then we can handle it. So I'm trying to open the other section here to see whether I can access UNISA website from home and see. I actually wanted to go to the office, but it is, I was there in the morning for invigilation of Mantic, but I came back before Jumu'at and thought I would go back again for the revision class, then I couldn't. So first of all, can you see me clearly and can you hear me clearly before we continue? Please, someone just type if you can hear me clearly and you can see me, then so that we can continue. I think, Farid, is the voice clear? Okay. Thank you, Cheku Umaid Abid, for the confirmation. Then I think we can we may continue the class and session, inshallah. So, what is wrong with this? Online. I'm trying to access our e-clip to see if we can get some clues in there. Okay. And also should be something here. Okay, so if there is any question, if you cannot ask online here, so my phone is on, so I'm going to be on Telegram and WhatsApp as well. So you can just simply type your question here. If you have any question, then I will address the question generally online here, inshallah. So I know one of the questions that all of you want to ask, or some of you want to know about, is whether the exam is going to be in objective or subjective. I think we made it clear in class already before this that the exam is not going to be in subjective. Okay, so it's not going to be in subjective, if it is not going to be in subjective, then it may be in objective. So perhaps it is in objective. Okay, so then where is the? Okay, I found it. Okay, what is here? No, it's not there. So it's going to be in objective, on objective questions, all of them. But so although they are going to be objective, meaning like A, B, C, joining answer together, matching question, and selecting answer from group of options that were given. So although they are going to be that, we still have to, they are all from the book. They are not outside the book. So that is something that is very, very clear. So it is, there are questions from everything that we have discussed in the class. And if you have attended the O class, from the beginning of semester until the end, if you have attended the test number 1, test number 2, and so you have been able to submit your individual assignment and you wrote it by yourself. Okay, Amira asked me about your carry marks. The carry mark, I think it should be ready. Everyone should know his carry mark by now. Is there anyone who doesn't know his carry mark? Because your test 1 is automatic, you will know your answer and your grade on your test 1 automatically. It will give you the answer. It is released. Then test number 2 is also automatic. You will also know it as soon as it is released. It is. I'm sure most of you have received your grade for that. And for the group assignment, I have finished the uploading of the grade, and I think I've released it since last week. For the individual assignment also, I have done that. So everyone should have access to his grade now. So you just cumulate both to all of them together. So I'm not interfering in the grades, so they are the natural grades that you get. So you add test 1, test 2, group assignment, and the individual grade and attendance. You add them together, so whatever you get is your what? Is your carry marks. So I think that is clear. So, but if there is anyone who have not received his or her grade or have any complaint regarding his or her grade, please, yeah, my line is open, my phone is active. So you let me know what the issue is, then we can handle it one-on-one. Okay, I'm not sure if a sister was, you see, one of our sisters had issue with e-attendance. She actually attended the whole class, the whole session, but she mistakenly chose never attended the class, and I think she got 0 for that. So if you happen to be in that category, you may want to review your answer, then you let me know and we will revisit it. But if you do not express that interest, I cannot interfere into the what, into the mark. So that is one more thing. Okay. So never mind. The picture I put at the background for our profile for this group is I just found I didn't, because the condition the Facebook wants me to put a picture, but I don't have any picture. So that is the picture that I found. And well, I'm going to remove it later maybe, but just for the session, inshallah. Okay, so regarding the carry mark assessment, I think that answer is clear. All right. Short paper. My home. المدخل إلى الفلسفة. I don't know where. I'm looking for a file on the laptop, but I still have not got it. Okay. So any other question before we go into the general discussion? I'm trying to open my file here, but it's not opening. So as soon as I get access to it, I will let you know. Okay. What is this message about? Yes, it's not opening. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mubarak, please come and charge this phone for me, please. Yes, I sent a link to our tele again. That is the YouTube link. The YouTube link also, you can click on it and watch this general session live as well. So I'm still looking for, where did I put this file? Perhaps this is not USB. Let me check again.
Stop your heart, turn around, stop now, make a change, wanna come around, jump up, make a sound, hey, jump up.
Search for. Anyway, well, I think generally, I'm going to say this: the general instruction on the exams. So for those of you who have taken any class with me before, you know this. So make sure, number one, your names are written as registered on the system. Yeah, I write your name in exam exactly as it was registered on the system. Meaning to say, you use the English alphabets in writing your names on the exam script. That is number one. Number two, your matric numbers should be written in English numbers. I know you like to write in Arabic letters and numbers, but that confuses sometimes. Because when you want to write 3, you write 2, and sometimes your 6 in Arabic looks like 7 in English, and so on and so forth. It confuses sometimes. So please write your names and your matric number in purely English alphabets and numbers, so that it will be clear, and I will not have to call to have to call you after the exams. And don't forget to write the seat number. Okay, don't forget to write the seat number. It is very, very important in your exam. Okay, then the information of the lecturer, the information, the murder, Ismail murder, the subject name. Don't forget to write down any detail of the. So you are going to be required to, the examination, the whole thing is like 1.5 hour, 90 minutes only. Okay, 90 minutes only. So for those who attended the class and were serious about it, it is going to be as easy as anything. So that is just it. You may not have to spend the whole 90 minutes before you finish. Okay, so it is 90 minutes, meaning approximately 1.5 hour. Okay, and the paper is comprised of 2 sections. Okay, 2 sections. The section of choosing A, B, C, and so on and so forth, and the other section of choosing, of connecting answers, true or false, and so on and so forth. Okay, so those are the preliminary and general informations about the exams that I think I need to give. Okay, so in addition to that, now let's go into the general revision. Okay, so generally, so I will advise everyone to revise the questions of test number 1 and questions of test number 2. Okay, and why do I say that I advise? It is just an advice because although it may not be similar questions, the same question, it may not be the same question in exam, but the procedure, the formatting, the way the question for test 1 and test 2 are set, so are also the same formatting are also used, or similar formatting are also used in the examination paper. So to be familiar, to familiarize yourself with the formatting of the question, the mode of the question, the way that the question may come. Okay, although the questions may be objective that you have to choose A and B and C. Okay, but still it comes in a theoretical way. Okay, so so for those, all of you, I will advise that you revise and get yourself familiar to the way test 1 and test 2 were conducted, so that you will not have to ask questions in the exam that you do not know how to attend the question. That is one instruction. Okay, you can't hear. Yeah, can the others hear me? Cheku, who might cannot hear me. Maybe I have problem with my karama at the end of the class, inshallah. So this is the karama, right? because the karama is because we are not in the class. You cannot see me, but you can see me online like this. I'm sitting at home and you can see me. You can see that karama. So, okay, maybe because of Azan. Okay. So now can you hear me? So the karama is I sitting at home and not in the class, and you can hear me, you can still see me. Okay, so that is enough karama. Okay, so that is, let me repeat what I said before we went into that. The formatting, regarding the formatting of the questions, so I will advise that we revise and we study the formatting of the test 1 and test 2. So because there are some questions that will come in similar way, okay, that those test 1 and test 2 were set, okay, and so that is so that is that about the setting and formatting of the question. Okay, now we made mention of setting figures in our class regarding their books, such people such scholars such as Dr. Muhammad Ukail, so who is the author of our book that we use in class. So you need to know the information about that book. So what do I mean by the information about that book is, of course, it is the book that we use in class. You should know the name. You should know the name of the author. What is the name of the author? Number one, and when was the book published? Where was it published? In what year? So, in short, the publication detail you should be able to know. You should familiarize yourself to the publication details of the book, number one. And number two, you should be able to say something about the content of the book as regarding to how many chapters are there, what was each chapter talking about. You should be able to summarize and familiarize yourself about the detail of the book with regard to the contents and so on and so forth. Okay, and in addition to that, if you remember at the beginning, for those who attended the class from the beginning, so we gave so many connotation yani definition yani the interpretation of an insan, okay, according to the monastic, according to the scholars of mantic. So the perception and the conception of mantic scholars about al-insan. So what do they take insan to be? So we remember some of them call insan tobi'iyan. Al-insan is ayawanun natik. Okay, so and some of them regard insan to be some of them regard insan to be naturally mudaniyi, and so on and so forth. And in there you also have some of them regarding insan as insanun soni or aywanun soni. Okay, so and so on and so forth. So you should be able to familiarize yourself to all these, what are insan, and so on and so forth. Insan sunai, akhlaki, tabi'i, thaqafi, wa ma ila dhalika. So that is, in general, the concept of insan according to ulama ul mantiq. What is the concept of insan according to? So that is an area that you may want to concentrate on. Another area that you may want to concentrate on is the Quranic concept of insan, the Quranic concept of insan. So what does Al-Quran regard al-insan to be? He said just simply hayawan that was created without any purpose, without any focus, anything. And what is the purpose of creating insan? Okay, so you may want to refer to that ayah of Quran that says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ مَا أُرِيدُ مِنْهُمْ مِنْ رِزْقٍ وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ يُطْعِمُونِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الرَّزَّاقُ ذُو الْقُوَّةِ الْمَتِينُ. So in the context of that ayah, so what is the concept of al-insan? So that is basically the Quranic concept of an insan. What does Al-Quran say insan is? Okay. And generally, what is the definition of al-falsafa? Lugatan wa istilahan. Okay, both linguistically and conceptually. What does al-insan, al-falsafa, what does it mean? How did we define it in the class, throughout the course? Okay, and there is a statement particularly in the class that we said that in terms of falsafa or philosophy being the product of human thinking. Okay, so philosophy meaning al-falsafa walidatul fikr al-insani or something, or al-bashari. So what do we mean by al-falsafa is walidat nasrat al-aql al-bashari. So what do we mean by that? So what do we mean by it is product? So does it mean that there is no revelation that talks about al-falsafa, or it is only human mind that produces falsafa? So, and if that is so, what is the implication? The implication could be that if we agree that philosophy is a product of human rationality or human thinking process, so meaning to say whatever human thought presents to us, so will be the final judgment. So that will be the implication. So is that true or it is not true in the context of what we have taken throughout the semester? Okay, so that is, and there is also some argument that philosophy is nothing more than, so anything, all the discussion that is surrounding the human rational activities regarding al-falsafa. Okay, and there are some statements so any action that what is philosophy generally? Anything that you do that generates benefits for humanity. So how do we defend that? Okay, so when someone says something that is beneficial, particularly that no one has said it in that form or in that format before, so what do we say to that person? Okay, there are 2 or 3 things that we need to take note of. Al-falsafa, at-tafalsufu, al-falasifa. Okay, al-falsafa is the murder, at-tafalsufu is the haraka al-falsafiyya, yani dirasatul al-falsafiyya, while al-philosoph or falasifa is the one who studies philosophy. Okay, now, so what are the relevant terminologies or words that we can have in Arabic before the arrival of al-falsafa? So you will remember al-hikmah, okay, and al-hakim. Okay, al-hikmah meaning al-falsafa, al-hakim representing with the representing the al-falasifa or al-philosoph. Okay, so yeah, philosophy is more like free thinking. Okay. Yeah, if we say philosophy is free thinking, so that is another statement that we can debate about. Uh, Meaning to say anyone can think freely. If anyone can think freely, so can we say, because we had a statement that say philosophy is the product of human mind, human rational rational activity. Okay, so if that is so, so do we say everyone that think, so the product of his thinking is philosophy? So that is another question. If everyone is free to think the way he wishes and the way he wants, so and he produces something at the end of his thinking, so can we call that philosophy? Okay, so the answer to that is that human rationality are not on equal page. They are not on equal stage. So يتفاوت الناس في عقلهم وفي تأكلهم وفي تفلسفهم. People differ in their philosophizing activity, in their thinking ability. People differ. Some people have high ability, high brilliance of thinking. Some have medium and some have very low. Okay, so meaning to say, it is not generally everyone that think that we can call a philosopher. Okay, yeah, yeah. Meaning to say, philosophy and the Quran. Let's say, with regard to philosophy and Quran, philosophy, there is one goal that philosophy is always after. That is tolerable hakiko, that is looking and seeking for the truth. Hakikotul amru. So, and this hakikotul amru is in the revelation, and Quran is one of those revelations. So, meaning to say, whatever is good according to philosophy will also be good according to the Quran and all other revelations, because both of them, what philosophy is looking for, which is al-haqiqah, you find it included in the content of the revelation, al-Quran. So by this, Quran and falsafa, or al-wahyu wal falsafa, la yatanaqadani. So they cannot contradict each other, okay, if they were properly studied. So that is another good comment there from Brother Muhammad Zahiruddin. Okay, so all right. Yeah, before I forget, I need to tell you also in the exams, although is it philosophy same as Mu'tazila? The discussion of Mu'tazila or not Mu'tazila, philosophy is generally what we call al-hikmah or al-ilmu or al-marifa. Al-marifa, just like al-hikmah, which is dolatul mu'min, فَأَيْنَمَا وَجَدَهُ فَهُوَ أَحَقُّ بِهِ. So that is according to the statement of the Prophet. So that is not related to any madhab or any tayyara, whether it is related to Mu'tazila or it's related to Shia or no. It has no relation or connection to any madhab or any sect. Okay, so it is purely general knowledge. So the way we see al-ilm, the way we see al-hikmah, the way we see al-marifa, the way we see any other knowledge that is neutral and has no connection and relation to anything, is the same way we should look at philosophy. Although there are some interpretations that make philosophy individualistic in nature. Okay, so philosophy can be regionalized, it can be localized, it can be nationalized, and it can be personalized. Okay, so in this aspect and in this area, So we should not, when a philosophy's idea as problem, we don't look at the philosophy as problematic, but we look at the person who gave the statement, and we have to check the statement of that person. So that is the issue. So it's the same way when people interpret Quran, give tafsir al-Quran. Okay, so when some people interpret Quran wrongly, so we cannot say Quran is wrong, but the person who interprets the Quran according to his own interpretation may be wrong. So that is the explanation there. Okay, so back to the point. So there are going to be some question of fill in the blank. Fill in the blank, you are not going to, there are statements, there are options, there are words, general words mixed together. So, and there are statements done, but you have to fill in the blanks choosing from the words, from the options provided. So that is, just to prepare yourself for such a question of filling the blanks. Okay, and in the book also we made mention of various names of authors. If you remember vividly, there was this Dr. Muhammad Yusuf, okay, so who wrote a book, to which the author of our book says that that book was actually the the first production and the first publication on the field of philosophy. So, what is the name of that book? And what are the contents of that book? For those who attended the class, you will remember that the name of that book is Al Quran wal Falsafa. Okay, Al Quran wal Falsafa. You may want to check your book for that now. So, the book written by Dr. Muhammad Yusuf. Okay, so it is. The title of that book is Al Quran wal Falsafa, meaning the Quran and philosophy, meaning to say the concept, the comparison between between philosophical idea and the Quranic interpretation of things and nature. So that is that. There are some other. Dr. Nawal is also there. So what is the title of her book, and how do we compare and contrast between the ideas mentioned in those books? Okay, so and again we go generally into the issue of the uh, the scholars who were during we divided philosophy, the study of philosophy, into sections, right? The ancient philosophy, that is Falsafatu Asrul Qadima, and medieval philosophy, the Qurun al-Wusta al-Masihiyya, and also the modern era and modern age, and also the contemporary. So in between that, we have Christian philosophy, and we have Islamic philosophy. So in between that, we have traditional and so on and so forth. So, okay. So that is philosophy observes life, it observes nature and common logical thinking. Anyway, generally, philosophy is about three important things. When we say Majalul Falsafa, okay, Al-Ghaya. Al-Ghaya means Dirasatul Falsafa. The utmost purpose of studying philosophy is Talabul Haqiqah. Okay, but there are three focuses, Mawdun, three major focuses. Number one is At-Tabi'ah. So number two, Al-Insan. Number three, Al-Ilah, Allah. So this philosophy is concerned about life, nature, okay, and God. Okay, and in addition to that, it's also concerned about al-akhlaq, so the morality and the behavior, activity and aspect of human being. Okay, let me say this: it is time for Asr prayer. So if you want to go and pray, no problem. I will save this session at the end of the session. I'm going to save it so you can still access it after the class is over. So if you want to go and pray, you may go and pray. Then if you join us back, it's okay. If you can't join us back, you can always watch it after the end of the session, inshallah. Okay, so you are back to the point. We made mention of this scholar during the medieval era, Qurun al-Wusta al-Masihiyya. So if you remember Augustinus Aurelius, or Aurelius Augustinus. Okay, so what is, we remember in class we said that he was Wulida Wathaniyan وقضى نصف الأول من حياته. Okay, قضى نصف الأول من حياته على على وثنية أبيه، وقضى نصفها الأخيرة الثانية على المسيحية تابعا لأمه. Okay, so he spent the first part of his life on the paganism of his father, and the second part of his life he spent it as a Christian. Okay, so if you remember, we mentioned in the class that he was 34 years aged. Okay, he converted to Christianity at the age of 34. Okay, and he died at the age of 68. So meaning to say, half of his life was spent in paganism, and half was spent in Christianity. Okay, so you should be able to remember between the earliest Octinus thought and philosophical idea, and the connection of that to the to and its activity to unite al-falsafa and divinity together. Okay, so it's what we call is focus what majorly at tawhid bain al-falsafa wal lahud, and at tawhid bain al-falsafa wa at tawhid, that is the conciliation between philosophical thinking and divinity. Okay, so and when we were proving that Quran is actually philosophical in nature, so we checked into some of the verses of the Quran that pries into human's mind and pricks into human's heart. Such ayahs like Afala Taqilun, Afala Tatadabbarun, Afala Tadhakkarun, Afala Tubusirun, and so on and so forth. So all these are prickling questions that invite human rationality to think rationally and philosophically. So meaning to say, we have in the Quran enough evidences that allows us to engage in philosophical activity and using our rationality. So that is okay. And remember in the class when we were given the definition of philosophy, we said something that the word philosophy was not originally Arabic, but it was made Arabic. It was Arabicized later. Okay, so at-tafalsufu was also any form, the symmetrical configuration of kalma al-falsafa were not majorly from Arabic, but it later became part and parcel of Arabic language. So that is, you should be able to also remember the things that we said about that also. The same thing is applicable to the word philosoph, philosopher. Okay, if philosophy was not of Arabic origin, then surely the word philosoph, philosopher, is also not of uh, Arabic origin. Okay, then you should also be able to discuss about the first ever philosopher in the Greek and the first ever philosopher in the Muslim among the Muslim scholars or philosophers. Okay, then you should be able to distinguish and differentiate between التعريفات المختلفة التي أعطي للفلسفة من قبل علمائها. So the various definitions of philosophy that were given by the scholars, okay, such as from the ancient period like Thales, Anaximander, Anaximenes, and so on and so forth, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Al-Kindi, Al-Farabi. So what are the definitions of philosophy according to these scholars? Okay, although there are similarities of interpretation, but the terminologies, the wordings that they use differ in some aspect. So what we should be able to distinguish between these definitions. Okay. Then, okay, I mentioned that already. We should be able to, yeah, maybe I'm going to send to the Telegram later. So this list of revised notes that I made here, with some areas of concentration that I compiled for you, maybe later. Okay, so I'm going to send this to the group for you to concentrate on. Okay, so then, okay, so meaning to say it will be, it will be, it would be unfair. It would be unfair to get you questions in the exams that are outside the book. So to be fair, okay, in fairness, no question comes in the exam that are not from the book. Okay, so that is very, very clear. Okay, and no questions was formed by myself from my own understanding or from my own expression. No, I did not form any question by myself or from my understanding or from anybody's understanding. All the questions were extracted from the book directly from the book, without paraphrasing, without changing words from the book. So it is your ability to relate well with the book that also contributes in your familiarity with the examination question. So I think we have come to the end of this revision session. So inshallah, if there is, I'm going to wait for another 5 minutes. If there is any question, please let me know before we log off. So I'm going to be around here for about another 5 minutes, inshallah. So if there is any question, you let me know, or you can ask your question, inshallah, bismillah. So if I don't receive any question after 5 minutes, so that means we are going to end the session, and I'm going to save it both on the Facebook and on the YouTube. So you have the link already, so you can always refer back to the links later to revise and re-listen to them, even after the exam. If you need to reaccess the link, so it is still going to be available, inshallah, bi'idhnillah. So that is what we have to discuss. So generally, I wish you all the best in your exams, not only in my subject, in all your subjects and all the subjects that you take. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be your guide and give you tawfiq and hidayah in everything. But I need to say this before I end the session. Exam is not the end of a subject. Examination is not what? It is not the end of a subject. So your ability to remember the subject that you have taken after the exam really matters a lot. It matters really a lot. So your ability to remember everything or things about your subject matters really a lot. Okay, so meaning to say, if you study for the exam and solely for the exam alone, so the exam is going to be over very sure. Okay, but what is your gain after you get your degree or your research in the subject? So without, if you do not understand it and you did not concentrate on it, so this is just very simply to say, examination is not the end of a subject. So keep study for knowledge sake and not only simply for the examination. Of course, examination is a part of it, but it is not the whole thing. Okay, so and don't tear your book, don't destroy your book after the exam. Don't destroy your book. Keep the book with you. You may need it anytime, any day, anywhere. Okay, so keep the book with you. If you don't need it now, just keep it. So one day you will still need the book to revise or to refer to it. You want to check something in the book. So, or if you don't need, some people or someone may need the book and ask you about it later. So don't destroy your book and don't tear your book and don't make any mess of your book. May Allah give all of us tawfiq wal hidayah. So I have 2 minutes more to wait. If there is any question, comment, or suggestion, inshallah, before I log out. Okay, thank you all very much for your time. Jumu'ah Mubarakah Tayyiba. See you inshallah on Sunday when we are going to be in the hall. Remember, you won't be able to talk to me, I won't be able to talk to you. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. Okay, may Allah give you all tawfiq and hidayah. And on that day, you know, اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم. Okay, since it's only your hand that is going to talk by writing, and your leg will be bearing the witness when you use it to scratch below the chair. Okay, may Allah give us all tawfiq and hidayah. وبهذا نكتفي وبالله التوفيق والهداية والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Ọjà ẹ jẹ́ kí n pè yín padà. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n pè yín padà kí n kírun. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n pè yín padà kí n bá kírun. Tẹ̀sẹ̀ máa wà lọ́nà. Right? Hello, ma. Hello.